If you notice there's things missing from the shelf behind me, it's because I'm going to be talking about them in this video, so. Hey guys, and welcome back to my shelf. So today's video was supposed to be the makeup book tag, which seems so fun, and I'll be doing it very soon. But because I slept with my makeup on last night, and my skin hates me right now, as you can see, I'm not going to be putting any makeup on my face today because I want my face to just recover from whatever it's doing. So as you can see by the title, I've decided to talk about some books that I would like to be turned into movies, providing that they're good movies, because I saw Ready Player One at the weekend and okay, it was fine, but we won't talk about that. Without further ado, here are some books that I would love to see as movies. This first one will be no surprise, and I'm sure a lot of you are expecting it because there are actual movie rights to the Warner Studios, but they haven't acted on it, and I don't know why, because they could make a fucking killing off of me. The first one is Looking for Alaska by John Green. So this book is about a boy called Miles, and it's kind of a coming of age story about a wallflower. Miles is quite like, he's not like lonely because he kind of thrives in being alone sometimes. He's quite an introvert and he's quite a nerd, and he's going to college or university or however, whatever you want to say, and he has to get to grips with a whole new friendship group and his crazy roommate. He does meet loads of friends on the way, including Alaska, and I can't really say much else about the plot apart from that because it's all spoilers. I felt this book on its own is very hard-hitting and has a lot of underlying messages. It has done a lot for people, including myself, and I feel like a movie of this book might like increase that. I can imagine like a grey scale colour palette, and I can just imagine it, I can see it, and I want it. I fucking want it. The next book on my books I would like to see in movies list is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Now I haven't read the rest of the Lunar Chronicles, but I can tell you that this book is amazing and definitely movie material. I was picturing it as a movie anyway. I can really picture the camera and just, you know, the setup. I can imagine it being a Spielberg film, but at the same time I would want a woman to direct it. This is about a like cyborg named Cinder who is just chilling in her workshop. She fixes androids and she fixes like scraps and stuff, and she lives in a dystopian world where she just fixes things. She's like a fixer-upper. She then meets handsome Prince Kai, and with Kai comes a lot of responsibility and a very, very evil queen. This book was very good. It was very, very good. From what I remember anyway, there is a bit blurry, and I think I'm going to have to reread it before I read the rest of the Lunar Chronicles, but I have got them, I just haven't really been wanting to read them. But I think I might have to reread this to like re-spark the interest, because I have forgotten a lot of this book. I just remember really enjoying it, and I remember crying like a baby. So I can really see this as a movie because I can just imagine it. I can imagine the camera, I can imagine this dystopian world, I can imagine Cinder as being like maybe Latina, and I can just imagine so many of these characters, and just I want it, I need it. The next book is another John Green novel, and that is Will Grayson by John Green and David Lethian. He has a weird name. So this book is about two male protagonists named Will Grayson and Will Grayson. And I don't really remember much about this book, but I remember it being a gay novel because it celebrates LGBTQ plus content, as loads of David Lethian's content does. I don't think it would be as extravagant as Love, Simon, or I don't think people would want to see it as much as they want to see Love, Simon, but I feel like this could be a really good contender in that category, and I feel like it could give some LGBTQ plus rep that the community wants. The next book is a book that I have talked about for fucking ages, and I'm pretty sure every one of my videos from like December has this book in it some way or another, and that is The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. This is a book about the Nowhere Girls, and they are an organisation, anonymous organisation in their school to help stamp out sexual assault and patriarchy, basically. It's a really good coming of age feminism novel for young girls, and I really think if you want to know more about rape culture and, you know, sexual harassment and stuff, this is a really good book for you to read. Or if you're an uninformed woman and want to become liberated, this is definitely the movie and the book for you. This tells the story of Grace, Rosina and Erin, three unlikely friends who of course come together. This is YA, this is what we look for. Lucy is a girl from their school that had moved previously who was abused, and Grace moves into her old home, and she begins to get these weird vibes and clues from her bedroom, I think, Lucy's bedroom. She wants her justice to be served, and she wants to be liberated like all these other girls are liberated, and Grace, Erin and Rosina really help uncover her case again and all these other girls are allowed to speak out at the same time. It really reminds me of the Me Too campaign, and I think a movie like this would be really useful in getting the message across for Me Too and Time's Up. The next book is A Brighter Fear by Kerry Drury. So this book is very similar in the fact that it's about women, but it's not about women in a different way. This is about how Lena fights for her family in Baghdad in 2003. This is also about a love story. If you're into that, it's very forbidden if you're into forbidden love stories. I personally just kind of overlooked that bit because, you know, I'm not really into that. But it was a really good book overall, and I think, again, it could really educate people with Brexit and people who slag off immigrants and refugees. This follows that kind of story, and I think a movie by a female director, again, could really open up some hearts if it was done in the right way. The next book is actually getting its own movie, I believe, and I'll be one of the first people in the cinema to see it, and that is The Hate U Give, aka Thug by Angie Thomas. This follows a girl called Star who sees her best friend get shot in a police brutality incident where he is unarmed and he is shot down by a officer. So this is basically about Star and her revolution and how she single-handedly, with her friends of course, fuels the campaign a bit like Black Lives Matter. This is a very big advocate for the Black Lives Matter campaign, just like the other books were for Me Too and Time's Up. This could spark even more of a conversation about Black Lives Matter and the police brutality going on in America right now, and how institutional racism is becoming a massive problem. I believe this is getting its own movie already. I will have to confirm or deny that in the description or something. To this day, I believe that it is because I've heard it from somebody, but I'm not entirely sure. But if there is, I am very excited about it. The last book that I want to talk about in this video is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. So this book is all about two boys named Mateo and Rufus, and could actually be classed as a male-on-male romance, an LGBT novel, but I don't think it wants to exclusively be categorised or advertised as that, because I don't believe that was Adam's intention. So this follows two boys who get the call by Deathcast, which is an organisation that tells you 24 hours before you're going to die, and it tells you, you know, you're going to die that day. It doesn't tell you how, but you have to live your life to the fullest in that day. This is all about Rufus and Mateo who live their life to the fullest on the last day, and that sounds so cheesy and cliche, and it is cheesy and cliche, but I feel like the world that they're in, the dystopian world, is really, really kind of well thought out. They'll probably colonize the fuck out of this in Hollywood, so am I wanting a movie? Yes. Am I wanting them to change the whole plot? No. But I do feel like if done in the right way, again, I can kind of imagine this as a Spielberg thing. Very dark, very twisted, very like Halloween-y October release kind of thing. So those are all of my opinions on which books I think and want should be films. I really hope that you enjoyed this and kind of agreed with me maybe on some of the points. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that my face is a bit of a mess and my hair is a little bit of a mess, and this video was just a mess and not what I planned for today. But I thought it was something and I thought to post it anyway. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a massive thumbs up and subscribe. We are almost at 150. That means halfway to 200 on the channel, which is mad because I've only just made it and like started posting on it and stuff. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you next week for another video. Bye!
I wanna watch them fly and fly and see them soar up into the unknown. But I feel just like a nerd watching birds, watching me here.